The worst decisions you make usually don't announce themselves with a blaring siren. They sneak in wearing comfortable clothes. Take someone like Arjun. Every night at 11:30, he tells himself he'll scroll for just 5 more minutes. 2 hours later, he's still staring at a screen, trapped in a mundane cycle of exhaustion and regret. The root of Arjun's problem is what psychologists call a groupthink of one. He automatically rubber stamps his own worst impulses because there's no opposing voice inside his head to challenge him. Relying on pure willpower to break this cycle almost always fails. We simply cannot outmuscle our own unchecked biases. To actually change behavior, we have to build a structural intervention right into our thought process. Long before we had smartphones to distract us, massive empires and institutions realized that confirmation bias was a fatal flaw. They knew that trusting a unified, unchallenged agreement was a recipe for disaster. In 1587, the Catholic Church codified a solution to stop the approval of fake clericals. They created the formal office of the Advocatus Diaboli, the devil's advocate, whose entire job was to ruthlessly investigate and destroy claims of sainthood. This institutional mandate for dissent was incredibly rigorous. The Vatican would even recruit fierce atheistic critics from the outside to formally argue against canonization. They aimed this skepticism at the highest profile targets, bringing in external opposition to testify against even widely beloved figures like Mother Teresa. Today, corporate boardrooms use this exact same mechanism. They assign designated dissenters to purposefully shatter group consensus before making catastrophic financial mistakes. If ancient empires and billion-dollar companies recognize they are too flawed to make decisions without a built-in dissenter, it's pure hubris to assume our solitary brains can navigate daily life without one. The solution is to scale this institutional safeguard down to a personal level. Think of it as hiring an internal lawyer, a 3-step cognitive habit designed to protect you from yourself. Step 1 is the pause. Before acting on an impulse, you pry apart the timeline, forcing a gap between a biological urge and your physical action. Step 2 is the cross-examination. Inside that gap, you formulate the best argument against your immediate desire. The philosopher John Stuart Mill argued that to find actual truth, we have to be shaken from the deep slumber of a decided opinion. Your internal lawyer is there to shake you awake. Step 3 is the deliberate choice. You only finalize your decision after the internal debate has concluded and both sides have rested their case. Adding this mechanical friction to your thought process doesn't paralyze you. Instead, it kills the catastrophic momentum of your own unchecked assumptions, allowing you to move forward safely. Let's bring this back to Arjun. When the clock hits 11:30 and his brain begs for 5 more minutes of scrolling, implementing the pause breaks the hypnotic, automatic loop of the glowing screen. His internal lawyer steps in for the cross-examination, explicitly asking, "How will I feel when my alarm goes off tomorrow morning?" That single, aggressive question shatters the lie that 5 more minutes comes without a cost. This framework is highly effective for your wallet, too. When you face an impulsive purchase, the devil's advocate acts as a qualitative opportunity cost analysis. The internal advocate interrogates the financial impulse, forcing you to ask if buying this item solves a real physical problem or if it merely medicates a temporary emotional state. We have to draw a crucial boundary here. The goal of this practice is not to generate toxic anxiety or second-guess every minor detail of your life. It exists to foster rigorous intellectual honesty. By institutionalizing a loyal opposition in your own mind, you strip away the comforting illusions that keep you stagnant. You stop operating on autopilot, and you finally begin living on purpose.